Hi guys, Michael Fry, President and CEO of Deepwater Subsea. On this episode of The Daily Grind, I want to talk to you about professional and personal development. There's a lot of people who are currently out of work at the moment, and one of the things I hear about all the time is, the longer I'm away from the game, the more I forget. And that's understandable with the science of learning and the learning and forgetting curve. As you've kind of gone through and learned a subject, the longer you're away from that subject, and even almost immediately after you finish a class or reading a book or watching a movie, you start to slowly forget, and over time, you'll pretty much forget everything that you've gone through. The reason I want to talk about personal and professional development is in this downturn, what are you doing to stay on top of your game? If you're a BSEE inspector, are you learning about, the changes in subsea BOP control systems and the operability of it? If you're a subsea guy, are you studying and learning about rules and regulations? What's in the API documents? What's in the CFR? If you're at home and you're not working at all, are you staying up on well control? Are you staying up on just the changes that are taking place? Our subsea management training course, over half of the students have paid out of pocket. We had one student that came through and he says, you know what, Mike, I've paid for my own Bosiet, I've paid for my own well control, I paid for this class, because when the market comes back, I want to have everything I need to be able to go back to work. For me, even as a CEO of a company, I'm constantly doing personal and professional development. You see the books behind me. I have books on the shelf. If it's, Microsoft Project, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, marketing, leadership. I'm constantly reading or watching videos on how to improve myself, not only as a leader and a supervisor, but as an owner of a company. So this message, this daily grind number 3, take a look in the mirror and think about the things that you need to improve on to stay on top of your game. I talked about on day 1, having that person that you can reach out to, that mentor, that center of influence, that when you need that kick in the ass to just keep yourself motivated. Sometimes it takes taking a look in the mirror and saying, hey, look, where do I want to go? What do I need to do? And how am I going to get there? A great book that I love to read is The 48 Laws of Power. And one of the things that it talks about in there is planning all the way to the end. And there's a short fable in there talking about the 2 frogs. And in every class that we do with our subsea management class, I talk about the 2 frogs. And the 2 frogs basically goes like this. There's 2 frogs in the middle of the summertime. Their watering hole is starting to dry up and they're going to move to a new location. So they hop along, they find a well full of water, full of food. And one frog looks to the next frog and he says, hey, look, I think this is a great place to make our new home. The second frog says, yeah, I agree with you, but what are we going to do when the water dries up? How are we going to get out? So plan all the way to the end. If your goal is to one day get back into the industry, what do you need to do from where you're at today to where you want to be tomorrow? Find that gap and then fill it with the information that only you can deliver. If your company's not paying for training, you have to pay for it. And if you're going to pay for it and you want to do personal and professional development, sometimes it takes making an investment in yourself. And how much are you worth to actually invest in your own money? That's a question that a lot of people aren't willing to answer. I'm not willing to spend money on myself. I want somebody else to do it. Well, sometimes it takes making that personal investment to get you to where you need to be. So daily grind number 3, take a look in the mirror, personal and professional development, and get back out there and stay on top of the information that you need to be ready to go. So when this market turns, you have everything you need to be at the top of your game.